Back by popular demand, State of Affairs welcomes State Assemblyman Jon Bramnick. He's a Republican. He admits it. He's also the leader of the Republican Party in the State Assembly, serving for how long?
15 years.
You are an attorney as well. You are also the only member of the state legislature doing stand-up on a regular basis, stand-up comedy, correct?
I'm the only one doing comedy outside of Trenton.
Would it work there? Is it a good audience?
No.
They don't get it?
No.
They're not that
It's
funny.
not a bunch of funny people.
They're not,
No.
okay.
Some of the legislation's funny, but...
Okay, let's talk about not some... Hey, this isn't funny. Steve Adubato here, more importantly, Jon Bramnick here. New Jersey Transit. People waiting for trains that don't come. People not told, hey, that train's not coming. People who are supposed to be the engineer, what are they called? Conductors, right? You can tell I haven't taken a train in a while. Hey, we're not coming into work today. Crisis?
Yeah, it's a crisis because lack of information. The most important thing, people can take almost anything if they know what's happening. And with all due respect, the last 7 or 8 months, there's been no information. Look, if there's not going to be a train, as long as I know the night before, I can make arrangements. But 5 minutes before it doesn't come, no good.
Why do you think that happens?
Well, a lot of reasons. I asked the director, and I said, what's
of New Jersey Transit?
Yeah, I said, what's the deal with the contract? You mean an engineer can just call up 5 minutes before and not show up? He goes, well, I didn't get a real answer, but I'm afraid that the system is, there's not much notice needed when an engineer doesn't show up, and that's got to be changed.
By the way, I want to clarify, is an engineer a conductor?
No, I think a conductor is a fellow who walks through the train.
Okay,
I think the engineer drives the train. I wouldn't bet my life on it, but I think so.
I just want to clarify that.
You got the wrong person to do the
show my
clarification.
ignorance right here on public television. How about this? Closer to home? Well, it's not closer to home, but it matters. There are many have said, you've said it as well, we don't get our fiscal house in order in the state of New Jersey. We don't get a second shot at this. Senate President Steve Sweeney actually will be joining us in the studio here at NJTV in Newark in just a little bit today. Series of recommendations after a task force he put together looked at this. He said, you know what, we need to do a bunch of things. We need to merge, consolidate school districts. We need to dramatically change tax policy. We need to do a whole bunch of things. You like it?
Well, most of those I do. Consolidating school districts has one danger. If you make a county school district, you may not be able to go to your local school. You may just have 3 choices, and you may not get your first choice, which if you live in Westfield and they do a county school,
right,
you may go 10 miles away to Linden.
You don't like that?
Well, you want to merge school districts, just be careful. As long as you get the chance, as long as you get the opportunity to go to your local school, I'm good. The other things are all excellent.
Name some of the ones you like.
Well, you got to do pension reform, you got to do health care benefit reform, and here's the deal. 5 years from now, it's going to get done. It's just a question. Government only does it in a crisis.
You're talking about public employees.
Well,
you're talking about changing the public employee arrangement with the state of New Jersey, Assemblyman Jon Bramnick, as it relates to health care benefits and pension benefits,
yeah,
correct?
Before it goes broke, because it's going to go broke. Okay, so you can either address it now or you can address it 6, 7 years from now. But anyone on Wall Street, any analyst will tell you the system will fail. Period. End of story. So fine, you want to wait 7 years and do it? I'm good. It's better for me. Actually, it's better for me politically to ignore the issue.
You mean as a Republican?
No, I have to tell you, every politician who goes out there and says, I want reforms, I want reforms, public unions are going to say like this, he's the bad guy.
But Assemblyman, respectfully, as we are taping today, Governor Phil Murphy announced an agreement with the public employee unions to significantly save millions, potentially billions of dollars by renegotiating, by putting those items back on the table, the health care benefits, pension contributions, particularly for future employees. How could you say that public employees are not making changes along with this administration?
Well, there were some slight changes done by the governor, okay? And
which is a good thing, no?
Well, we're going to have to do an hour show on what those changes were. But yes, it's a good thing to start to address it. But it doesn't affect over $100 billion in debt that's owed by this state. It could be up more than $140 billion in debt. Our budget's only $37 billion.
Are you talking about unfunded liability of the pension?
Exactly. So this minor step forward is a good step, but it's far short of what's needed. So what I'm saying is we need a whole show on, and those changes, some of those changes, you have to look behind that curtain a little bit. And we have to talk about that at length.
We will have also today, boy, there's some great people coming in today, including the leaders of the New Jersey Education Association, public employees greatly affected by that deal. Hey, you don't like Donald Trump, do you?
Let me tell you, what I don't.
He's the leader of your party.
Well, no.
Yes, he is.
No, wait a minute. I became a Republican in this state because people like Tom Kane Sr., people like George Bush 1. I'm going to tell you, now we're going to get away from policy for a minute. So there's some, but personality-wise, you have to respect other people. And in my judgment, you have to have empathy for other people. And my concern is that I don't see the empathy that I want as a Republican leader. And I'm going to say it, and I don't care the consequences of that. That's different than policy. Policy, you know, meeting with North Korea or trying to build relationships with the Soviet Union makes some sense. But treat people with respect, show some civility. And my concern is that's not good for the party.
Why do you think some believe, many believe, that President Trump has a hard time, quote unquote, taking the high road? And also, let's try this as we do this program. He recently said, you know what? I don't believe 3,000 people died in this horrific situation last year in Puerto Rico. I think the Democrats are involved in a conspiracy. I don't think John McCain, who a war hero, buried service to this country, United States Senate, 6 years or so in a prisoner of war camp. He wasn't a war hero. I respect people who were not caught versus people who were caught. You hear that. You ask yourself, he's the leader of the Republican Party. He's the leader of our nation. No, he is.
Well, let me tell you this. I don't respect those comments, and I've spoken out about those comments.
The vast majority of Republicans supported them in spite of it.
Well, look,
and support him today in spite of it.
I'm going to do what I think is right. I was the leader of the civility movement 15 years ago, and I'm not going to put away my moral commitment because someone's the president of the United States. But let's separate. You want to talk about policy, or you want to talk about how he acts?
Demeanor and leadership style.
I don't like his demeanor.
Is it dangerous?
Well, I think it's dangerous. Yeah, I think it sets in motion the ability for people to attack each other.
Yeah.
I don't like it. You want to go to civility? Go to George Bush 1. Go to first, or go to Tom Kane
Barack
Sr.
Obama.
Look,
civil.
Look,
civility.
I'm the
even
Republican,
if you disagree
I'm
with
the
his
Republican
policies.
leader in the House. I stand for the Republicans in New Jersey, and as far as I'm concerned, that lack of civility is not what I like.
One quick on policy. I can't believe that you are supportive of the idea of the federal government through the recent tax changes in Washington saying, we're capping state and local deductions, meaning your property tax, your state income tax,
I'm not
10
supportive
grand,
of it.
that's the deal.
I'm not supportive
Why would
of
they
it.
have done that? And could that have anything to do with the fact that Democrats, in fact, or those who were in New Jersey voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016? Or is it some sort of grander fiscal tax policy plan on the part of Republicans?
Most of the country liked it. It was really bad.
What did it do for New Jersey?
It hurt New Jersey, in my judgment.
Because we can't deduct our taxes beyond 10 grand.
Absolutely. And the whole argument is, well, we should lower our taxes.
That's what a lot of your friends say.
But, yes, if you want to give New Jersey 10 years to do that, and you want to phase out a property deduction, I might be with you. But when you do it overnight, in my judgment, it's punitive to this state. I don't support it. I said I don't support it. Look, just because you're a Republican doesn't mean you like everything a Republican does. Generally, I believe in less government, and then people should have freedom. That's the kind of Republican I'm, and I'm not going to defend every Republican, including the president.
I say Phil Murphy, Governor Phil Murphy. You say?
I think he's very, very, very liberal to the point where, well, here's my concern. You have to recognize the fiscal problems in the state. Okay. Now, he made a slight move the other day, but I truly
with
believe,
the unions, public
yes, but I
unions.
truly believe that he's a big government leader. And if you like that, it's fine. I believe that we've got a serious crisis fiscally, and I don't think that that's what he focuses on.
Do you think he's focused enough on, I got about 30 seconds left, on the need to cut spending?
No, of course not. Not when you do a $1.4 billion tax increase. You ask me, is he concerned about spending? Obviously not. Now, I think, one, he really believes it. I think he's not really a politician. I think he truly, deeply believes what he's doing. I think he's
Got to give him credit for that.
Absolutely.
But
I disagree with him. When did this become personal?
No, but what's the problem with that real quick is?
The problem is we can't afford it. We got to compete with other states. We have to bring businesses in here. We got to keep people from leaving. How many people are leaving this state because it's too expensive? He does not recognize that, but he's a nice man. Every
time, Steve Adubato here, every time we have State Assemblyman Jon Bramnick, he's engaging, he's interesting, he's informative, and
funny.
You can catch his stand-up, go on his website, find out what he's doing. And thank you, John.
Thank
all
you
the best,
so much.
as always. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
This is State of Affairs. Steve Adubato. Catch you next time.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Agnes Veris NJTV studio at 2 Gateway. Funding has been provided by the law firm of Gibbons, P.C., RWJ Barnabas Health, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, PSE&G, Rowan University, International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 825, Keystone Mountain Lakes Regional Council of Carpenters, and by these public-spirited organizations, individuals, and associations committed to informing New Jersey citizens about the important issues facing the Garden State, and by Employers Association of New Jersey.